Hello friends, welcome to my serial port programming tutorial using Python and PySerial on a Windows 10 platform. Here we will learn how to install Python, then we will learn how to install PySerial, which is used for programming the serial port. PySerial is a cross-platform library which we can use to program the serial port. Now in this tutorial we will be using PySerial on a Windows 10 platform. Here we will learn how to open a serial port using the Python, and then we will learn how to configure the various parameters of the serial port, like baud rate, number of data bits, number of stop bits, etc. Then we will learn how to communicate with an Arduino from a Windows 10 PC using our serial port. We will send data from PC to Arduino first. Then we will make the Arduino blink an LED depending upon the data that has been sent. In the next section, we will learn how to receive data from the Arduino in the PC. So Arduino will send some strings that will be received by the PC and it will be displayed on the console. And in the third example, we will learn how to send a data to the Arduino, and the Arduino will send it back like an echo program. In the future video, we will also learn how to configure the serial port exceptions using PySerial, and we will also learn how to use PySerial on Linux, where we will teach you how to set up the user control so that the Linux does not restrict your compound code. We will also learn how to use the RTS and DTR line using PySerial. Those are future videos, so do subscribe. This is our web page for our Python tutorial. Now, the first thing we have to do is to download a Python interpreter. I will be using the standard Python interpreter, the one from python.org, also known as CPython. So you can go to downloads, and from there you can download the interpreter for the Windows version. Here the Python version is Python 3.10, which is the latest one. So you can click here and it will download. I have already downloaded it. So I will just click it. This is the installer and this is the 64-bit version. You can double click and the installer will start. Now you can see that this version of Python also includes PIP, which is the Python installer. If we want to install some other libraries, for example PySerial, we can use PIP. And now also click the add Python 3.10 to path. We'll use the customize installation. And as you can see, it will install the documentation pip and other things. You can click on next. And for the installation location, you can either go for the default one or you can create your own installation. Here I have a folder called Python. So the installation will be in CPython. Because I prefer it, there is no other need for that one. You can install it anywhere. So now you can press install and the system will install. Now the installer has completed the installation. You can press close. Now you can start a command prompt, the Windows command prompt. From there you can check your Python installation by typing Python. And you can see that it is properly installed. And you can see the version here, Python 3.10.15. You can check whether PySerial is installed or not by just importing the PySerial library, which will be serial. So you can find out that you can see that the module is not installed. So we have to install the PySerial module. For that purpose, we have to use the Python installer called PIP. So you can press Ctrl Z and then start the PIP installer. So on the command prompt, you can type Python -m pip, then install PySerial, then press enter. Now it is showing that it has successfully installed PySerial 3.5. Now I will check it again. I'm writing import serial here. Yeah, there is no issue. So it's installed. Now you can also use pip to see what all libraries are installed on this CPython installation by giving the command python -m pip and list, which will list all the libraries. We know that we have pip installed and we have PySerial installed, and setup tools is also installed here. Now we will go for the programming part of the tutorial. We have a companion website to support the video. You can find the link in the description. The source code for this tutorial can be found from our GitHub account, or you can download it from the companion website. The links are in the description. This is our GitHub repo. You can find out that the Python codes are here. We have the Arduino Uno codes here. And we also support other microcontrollers like MSP430 and Atmega 320p. All these are C codes, not the Arduino C code. So you can either fork from our website, fork from our GitHub, or you can download it. You can download it as zip. We would ask you to subscribe to our channel, and if you like our video, do like it. And we will be uploading another video on how to do the serial port programming on Linux. So if you want to hear about it, do subscribe. We also have an online store. If you want, you can check it out. It is on our website, and you can also find it in our description. Now in this tutorial, we will be communicating with the Arduino Uno from a Windows 7 or a Windows 10 PC, or you can use a Linux PC also. And this is the basic setup. We have the PC right here, and the PC will communicate with the Arduino Uno through the USB cable. The Arduino Uno will connect to the PC using USB serial port or a virtual COM port. And the Python program running on the Windows will try to communicate with the COM port of the Arduino Uno. And the code running on the Arduino Uno will do certain actions depending upon the characters sent from the Windows PC. Now, if you are not using an Arduino Uno, you want to use a microcontroller, a basic microcontroller, for example, like MSP430 or Atmega 320p. Now, you will be connecting the microcontroller to the PC using a USB to serial converter. And the connection should be something like this. The RxD pin of the microcontroller UART should be connected to the TXD pin of the USB serial. And the same here, the TXD, that means the transmitted pin of microcontroller UART, should be connected to the RxD pin of the USB to serial. This diagram shows how to make the connection. And make sure that the ground of the microcontroller and the ground of the USB to serial should be connected. And the USB to serial converter will convert the UART signal to USB, and from there it will be connected to PC. Here I'll be using a USB to serial converter called USB to serial, which you can buy it from our website, or you can use other USB to serial converter. This one uses FT232 and it has breakout pins like this, all mounted on the screw terminals. It can also convert from USB to RS485 and to RS232. The connection will be something like this. Here we have the Atmega 320p microcontroller, and from the TXD you are connected to the RSD of the USB to serial, and the RxD of the Atmega is connected to TXD of the USB to serial converter, and from there the USB is connected to the USB port of the PC. Here we are showing how to connect the MSP430 launchpad to PC. Now we will learn how to identify the COM port number of the Arduino or a USB to serial converter connected to your PC. Here we are using the Windows platform. So you can go to the search bar right here and you can type Device Manager. Then click on the open. And here you can see all the devices attached to your computer. Now you can connect your Arduino or a USB to serial converter, and the system will detect. And under the ports, COM and LPT, you can open it and you can find out that your Arduino is connected to COM4, this one. So in our serial port programming code, you will have to use COM4. Now in your PC, the number will be different. It can be COM4, COM11, depending upon the model and make of the Arduino, it will be different. Now on Linux, we don't have any device manager. So we have to use the command line and check it using the dmessage command. I'll do it in another video for that one. So if you want to know that, just subscribe it and I will upload it later. First thing we are going to do is to create a folder. We will name it as Python Serial Port Tutorial, and we will keep all our code files inside this folder. Now you can open the command prompt and you can navigate to that particular directory. So it will be Python Serial Port Tutorials. Now we will create a small Python file. We will use a text editor. I'm going to use the default text editor on Windows. That would be Notepad. Now you can write some code on this one. Now we'll save it as a Python file. So you can save it as save as the directory and the name. It's called serial tutorial. And save as type all files. So this will be saved as a Python file. Now the problem with Notepad is that it won't show any syntax highlighting. So it will be very difficult for us. You can use other text editors like Notepad++ or Sublime Text. Or you can use the Python idle also. It can also do the same thing. Now I'll close this one. And I will type idle here. If you have installed CPython, it will be installed by default. So you can open from here. From file, you can open it. navigate to our directory. So here we are importing the serial module or the PySerial module. After that, we will try to open the port. For that, we'll create a serial port object. Let's call it serial object. Now we will now we have to give the COM port name here. Here my COM port name is COM4. You can check it from the device manager. And then one more thing is that this serial S is small, while this one is capital S. You should not forget that one. After that, if the serial port is opened properly, it will give all the details to this object, that is serial object. You can print that and you can find out the parameters of the serial port. So I'm going to print it here. Then I will close the serial port. Now we'll save this. And from run, you can go for run module. Now the code has run, and you can see that this is the output from the printer. Now you can see that the open equal to true. The serial port is successfully open, and the port name is COM4 right here. And by default, we are giving the baud rate equal to 9600, and the byte size is 8. Parity is none, and stop bits equal to 1. So you can change it. We'll do that later. Now let's say you want a different baud rate. Now you can give the baud rate right here itself. Let's give it 19200. Then you can save it and you can run. Now you can see that the baud rate has changed. Now you can also give other parameters here itself, but I would prefer you give it somewhere else. Like you can give it to particular parameters. I'll do that in the next one. Now, if you don't want to run the code using idle, you can run it using command line. You can navigate to the folder and you can just type Python and the name of your code. Press enter. When we print out the serial object, it is going to print out all the details in an unformatted form. Let's say you want to print the parameters of serial object like the port name, baud rate, etc. in a formatted form. For that, you can use this setup. Here we are able to access the port name by using serial object dot port, and you can also access the baud rate by using this format. So if you run this thing, it will show the default baud rate, default byte size, default parity, and default stop bits of this one. Now you can not only access the data, you can also put data into this one. For example, let's say you want to change the default baud rate from 9600 to 19200, or you want to change the byte size. You can do it like this. For example, let's change the baud rate, and we can give it 19200. PySerial support a lot of baud rates from, I think it's from 50 to some 38400. For most purpose, you can use the default baud rate or something like 19200. And you can also change the byte size. It supports actually 6 bits, 7 bits, and 5 bits. So you can either give it 7 if you want to, and you can also change the parity to even, odd, or none. Let's change that to even. And the number of stop bits can be changed from 1, 1.5, and to 2. So if I change to 2, if I run this, this was the default settings. We didn't do anything. We just initialized the COM4 port, and then you can see the default one here. And the change setting here, we have changed the baud rate to 19200 and byte size to 7, parity to even, and stop bits to 2. The PySerial also gives certain constants through which we can change the byte size. Instead of writing 7, you can write something like this. Small letter serial dot five bits. You can also change the parity same way by using the constants like serial dot parity. We have parity even, so you can click it here. And you can also change the number of stop bits. So we can see that the parameters have changed here. Byte size is 5, parity is even, specified by the letter E, and stop bit is 2. So in the next one, we will initiate a transmission from the computer, that is the Python script, to an Arduino. Now we are going to send some data from our PC to our Arduino. Now the basic connection setup is something like this. We have a Windows PC or a Windows laptop, which is running a Windows 10 operating system or higher. This will be running a Python script. The Arduino is connected to the PC through the USB cable. When we connect the Arduino to the PC, the Arduino appears as a virtual COM port. Now the script running on the on the Windows 10 PC will open a serial port connection to that particular port of the Arduino, and it will send the character A from PC to the Arduino. On the Arduino side, we will check the character. If the character is A, we will blink the LED connected to pin 12. Now when you're connecting the LED, make sure that a 120 ohm resistor is connected in series with the pin number like this. Now we will use the codes which we have downloaded from our GitHub repo. I have removed the MSP430 and the 8 mega codes because we are not going to use that. We will be concentrating only on Python and Arduino Uno code. So in our case, the Arduino will be receiving. So go to number 1, serial reception LED, and you can double click on the Arduino code. I have Arduino installed here, so you can just double click. This is the serial reception code for the Arduino. Here in the setup section, we are making pin number 12 as output. You also make it low so that the LED is initially off. Now we are going to set the baud rate for 9600, which is a standard rate, by using the serial.begin. After that, we will use a loop. Which will check whether any data is available on the serial port of the Arduino. Then if there is anything, it will read the data to this one RX byte, which is a character. And here we are using a switch statement. So when we send data A from the PC, it is received by the Arduino and will check which data is received. And when the condition is met, it will switch on the LED and blink it off. Here we can put other codes also, like B. If you send B, you can put your own code here, which could do something else. Like that, you can create a remote control system, basically USB based. Make sure that COM port is COM4. Arduino Uno. Now you can upload the sketch here. Now we will use the first one, PySerial simple transmit.py. We will open it with idle. So the first thing is that we are importing serial for the PySerial library. We are also importing time because we need some delays. Now you have to change it to COM4. On Linux, you will have to give something like this one. I will put another video for that one. So if you like this, please do subscribe. So now we are going to set the baud rate equal to 9600, and we want 8 bits and no parity. Then we have stop bits equal to 1. Then we will put a small delay of 3 seconds right here. This is a small delay. This is due to the reason is that whenever we open the serial COM port using this particular code, the Arduino will get reset and will take some time to get back. So if you send just after this one, the Arduino will not be able to receive the data you have sent because it is in the process of getting resetted. So we are putting a small delay here. Now you only need this for Arduino. If you are not using Arduino, you are using just a single microcontroller with a USB to serial converter, then this is not required. Now we will be using the write method, this one, to send the character A. In Python, most of the characters are encoded in Unicode. We cannot send Unicode, so we will be converting the character A to binary. So that's why we have to put it as B, then the character A. So it will return the number of bytes returned by. So I will run this code. This will give out, the output will be bytes returned equal to 1. Now you have to check your Arduino and see whether the LED is blinking out or not. In this section, we will learn how to receive data from an Arduino using Python and PySerial. Now, we have a Python script that is running on the Windows 10 computer here. The script will wait for data to be sent from the Arduino. Here the PC will be receiving and the Arduino will be the one transmitting. Now on the Arduino side, we will send a string hello from Arduino Uno to the computer. Now you can use this particular code, PySerial receive underscore string. You can open it with idle. Now since we are reading data from the serial port, we have to set a timeout. After timeout is over, the system will return. Otherwise, it will keep on trying to read from the serial port, which will hang the system. So here you can set the timeout equal to 3. So after 3 seconds, the code will return, and if it is received something, it will show it. Otherwise, it will not show anything. Now I will run this thing. Now I have set the timeout, and on the other side, I am not setting anything. I have not initialized the Arduino. So the code will wait for some time and will return. Now the timeout has expired and it has shown that nothing has been received. Now we will here to read data from the serial port. We are using the read line function. Read line function will only return after it has received a new line character, that is \n character. So you have to send that \n character from your Arduino side. Otherwise, the system will not return. I mean, it will not receive data. So if you're using read only, then there is no problem. So this will print the received string here, and I will close the port. Now we are going to use the Arduino code, third one, serial transmit string. Here the code does the same thing. Serial.begin initializes the port to 9600 baud rate. After that, we will use the void loop. Here we will keep all the data in a character array, hello from Arduino Uno, and we will use the serial.println function to send the data of this character array. The println sends the /n character, so that on the other side the Python readline will return, and we will put a small delay of 1 second here, and the Arduino will be constantly transmitting the data. So you can put the code into the Arduino using the upload button. Now we will run the PySerial received. So we have received the data hello from Arduino. The last code I want to show is this one, PySerial transmit underscore echo. In this code, we will send a character, here A, towards the Arduino. The Arduino will receive the character A and it will transmit it back, which will be received by our Python script and will be shown in the console. So here we will open the serial port. Then we will set the baud rate and other things right here. Then we will use a time to sleep. So there is a small delay so that the Arduino will get resetted. And after that, we will send the character A using the serial object.write method. And then immediately we will change back to the read option. And then we will wait for the Arduino to send back the data. When we receive the data, we print it on the console. Then we close the serial port. Now on the Arduino side, you'll have to download the code. Second one, serial underscore echo underscore back. This is the code. It is similar to the other code. Here we will check it whether any data is available on the serial. Now once some data is inside the UART, it is read by this one. Then we will send the same data back using serial.print. Here we are not using the println, so the \n character is not sent. And on the Python side also, we are using serial object.read, not readline. So that won't make any difference. So you can download this code. Now make sure that you have the same you select the COM port number for your system. Then you can press run module. And we have received back the character A. Now if you want, you can change it also. We can put it B if you want. We have received it back. Now we have finished our Python serial port programming tutorial. Now in the next video, I will tell you how to configure the exceptions in PySerial using Python. Using exceptions will help you to exit from your programs gracefully in case if there is an issue. For example, if you are not able to get the correct COM port number of the COM port is in use, all those facilities can be solved by using these PySerial exceptions. So do subscribe and like our video. You can find all the source codes in our GitHub repo. You can find it in the description. You can also check out some of our other videos and also our website. Thank you for listening.